2015 marked the flagship year for UK-China relations, with the UK welcoming Chinese President Xi Jinping for the first state visit from China in 10 years. Both countries hope they will enter the golden era of friendship and cooperation. The president enjoyed quite a ceremonial welcome outside the Buckingham Palace, where thousands of people lined around to greet him. Among all the people who welcomed President Xi in the UK, Chinese students seem to be the group who showed most excitement.
有啊，那这件事儿肯定是一件大事儿。就是那个时候，当知道这件事儿的时候，其实还是蛮激动的。记得报名的时候有3000多个人，具体去的好像有1000多吧。然后是学联组织有1000多，然后剩下的可能自己自发性的去。以为他很早就会到，但是后来发现其实并没有，然后就一直等，然后反正大家其实热情也蛮高涨的，所以就等了2-3个小时、3-4个小时。这样子，
当时我有参与，就是接习大大这一个项目，见到的那一瞬间真的是百感交集。
我出发，然后去市政厅占位子，然后就为了占一个好一点的位置，能更好的角度看到它。
I saw on the news that he visited last year, and it was really interesting. I remember going to get my visa for another trip. I was going to China, and there was protests outside a certain building to do with human rights and whatever. So it was a bit of kind of like, why is he here and all that sort of stuff. But I felt the general response was pretty calm. I don't think many people really know about the government in China, so it's very much like this is just another person. And I think for people that are aware, it did kind of heighten stakes and go, why are you meeting with this or that person? But for me, it was good to see there's a bit of relationship between the UK and China.
After Xi's state visit, the UK has been pushing for increased foreign investment and trade with China. And many young British entrepreneurs have started their startup business with the Chinese market.
There's been a lot more opportunities now for UK-China's business development. Last year when David Cameron met up with the Chinese government to improve relationships, there was a lot of foreign direct investment spoken about, particularly with a new airline route going into Manchester, which enables better work and communication and travel. I think it's just going to keep on improving really, and hopefully the new changes in the visa will make it a lot easier for Chinese people to visit the UK for work and for leisure, and I think it's going to keep on improving, and I very much welcome more Chinese people to come to the UK.
However, despite the positive picture we see, there are actually a lot of issues facing UK-China relations because of China's human rights record. Protesters from Free Tibet, Amnesty UK, and other human rights organizations gathered at London's St. James Park to demonstrate as the Chinese president passed by in a state carriage procession to Buckingham Palace.
Human rights is, like I said before, is always a sensitive question, is a point. So for now, at this stage, I think it's better for both countries just step back a little bit, and we can cooperate with each other in many other different ways, but without talking about human rights, I think.
This is a really interesting question, I think, because for us, I think for the British Empire as well, we've done some horrendous things in our past, and I think as a British man, like I can't just say oh, China are doing this horrible thing and Afghanistan did this horrible thing and all that sort of stuff. We have to look at our own history and go, if the rest of the world had said we're not going to trade with the UK, would we be where we are now? I doubt that. So just to neglect someone and not to work with them towards resolving things is no way of getting past stuff. I think the more China and the UK and other Western nations and Eastern nations can engage with each other, we'll actually see, development. And I also think the rise of the internet as well amongst young people in China. They're reading stuff that they weren't allowed to read in the past. They can all hop past the firewalls. We're not going to lie about that's what happens, and they're just reading stuff that's different. And I think if you look at the rise in protests in Hong Kong, it's signaling kind of there is this move towards democracy. There's a desire and a hunger for it, but it won't happen unless there is that communication. So to just reject a nation because they've got these problems, it doesn't mean that that's going to be forever, and I think that we, as Britain, just need to keep, having that influence, having that conversation, going, why do you keep doing this? Because that's the way to resolve things, in my opinion.
Professor Carrie Brown from King's College London specializes in Anglo-British relations.
It's not a question of the UK and China having friendly or unfriendly relations. It's a question of China needing to create a space in the world where it's sort of, not opposed. Its movements create consent. There it's a real issue of violating international law and not respecting the systems of other countries. To abduct a citizen and take them back into China is absolutely unacceptable. Because of the number of foreign nationals going into China, because of the interest that the outside world has in the development of legal systems in China, we will see more and more pressure being put on China to deliver these things. Whether this is about human rights or not, well, I guess it is broadly, but it is about very specific things that the world should be concerned about. This government is obviously very cautious. It doesn't want to create, turmoil. But it does have to think in very radical ways of different kinds of political models that it might be able to experiment with that could help deliver the kind of middle income, kind of more diverse society that China wants to become and is becoming every day.
How will China's human rights issues affect the UK-China relationship, and to what extent? Should Britain keep silent on this issue and continue its economic and cultural connections with China? Or should they continue to encourage greater freedom of speech and other political freedoms in the emerging superpower? Is there a middle way between the realpolitik and the idealistic extreme? Or is there more that we can expect from China itself?